This TFMR podcast is brought to you by your friends at JM Bullion. Visit jmbullion.com for all your gold and silver bullion needs. Welcome back to your TF Metals Report podcast highlights for the first week of April. First week of the new quarter, 2023. Gold enters the new quarter coming off new quarterly highs. Very strong, bullish, long-term trend indicator. And as the new week began, there were all kinds of things to talk about in our Monday podcast. One of the things was, of course, the dollar index. We've been watching it fall rather consistently for the last several weeks. It's now falling up against what should be important support near 102. Starts breaking down below there. We'll start targeting maybe even 101, those lows from back in January. We watch the dollar every day at TF Metals Report, and that was one of the things we discussed back on Monday, April 3rd. Now, I put two trend lines on here. The one catching just the absolute peaks of the candles, which gives you another 3 or 4 days before that little wedge runs out. Or the one that I've been following, it catches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 peaks, which runs out tomorrow. Either way, man, you drop through 102, we're looking at 101. And probably pretty quickly. So we are going to watch that level very, very closely because, again, if the dollar index is ready to drop through 102 to 101, that's going to help float us higher. On Tuesday, April the 4th, one of the charts we discussed was the daily chart of COMEX Gold, the new front month June contract. It's been rallying hard for several weeks and currently in what we would call a bull consolidation bull flag. On the chart, it looks like a pennant. We expect this to resolve to the upside because the trend is to the upside, but you never know with these things. Something we've been tracking at TF Metals Report, and again, just one of the things we discussed Tuesday, April the 4th. COMEX Gold. Oh, look at that. Look at that consolidation pennant that we've been tracking and thought maybe we might be able to get a few more candles in there before that baby closes. Wrong. Blasting out. Like we talked about, we've been discussing this for a week or two. That's a bull flag. That pennant. That's a consolidation pattern in an uptrend. So the odds were this was going to resolve itself to the upside. And that's exactly what happened, as you can see. Blasting out today. And it really, if anything, even if we pull back from here for a few days or a week or whatever, we've now made a higher high versus a higher low. And that's exactly what you want to see in a bull trend. I was traveling on Wednesday, the 5th of April, so we did not have a daily podcast that day. We just had a written summary of events and chart review. We're back to business as usual by Thursday, the 6th, talking about the bond market, the Forex markets, of course, the commodity markets and the precious metals. But we also took a look at the mining shares. One of the best proxies for tracking the mining shares as a sector is the GDX. Big large cap mining share ETF. That was one of the charts we discussed Thursday, April the 6th. And finally, the GDX, that is the fourth consecutive green candle in 5 out of 6. Moving up smartly, closing above 34, a new high versus the highs in January. So you got the lows last year to the highs in January, and then a higher low and a higher high. Great. The next target appears to be 36. Does it go straight to 36 or does it pull back to 33 and then go to 36? The next target appears to be 36. And then eventually, again, that peak, that big trend line, the peak that's up there, August of 2020 to the peak in April of last year. By the time we get there, that's going to be about 38. That's not very far. What is it, 15% from here? It's definitely doable, and we're definitely headed there in time. But again, good week for the shares. And right in line, the gains this week in the shares, right in line with what you'd expect in a bull market. Silver should be about double what gold does, and the shares should be about triple. And that's about what we got this week on a percentage basis. The COMEX Futures Exchange was closed on Friday, April the 7th in observance of the Good Friday holiday. The New York Stock Exchange closed as well. So the week technically ended back on Thursday, and we painted the weekly charts then. The news didn't stop, though. The Friday actually brought the latest U.S. jobs report, and it came in about at expectations, with the unemployment rate actually ticking down 1/10. The bond market is open, and rates have risen on Friday. So have rate hike odds for the next FOMC meeting. So if the metals were trading, gold would probably be down maybe 1%, silver be down maybe 2%. But we'll have to wait and see where they trade once markets reopen on Sunday, because again, there's no trading here on Friday. Off of that Thursday close, let's take a look at the weekly chart. As you can see, it's in very rare air, closing north of $2,000, really only for the second time on a weekly basis. Every other time, well, twice, that it's gotten up to this level, it has been quickly reversed. So we'll see what happens next week, though we know it's probably going to begin the week with price under pressure. But that's the last couple weeks have started like that, and then prices have rallied back. So don't give up hope, and let's just see where we go next week, and then come back for another edition of your TF Metals Report podcast highlights.